So we have a very adventurous meal today. Mashed potatoes, the things for biscuits. Instead of using milk today, we're going to be using sour cream and water. That makes plenty of sense. I really enjoy making this meal. It's from a friend of ours who introduced us to the song Nugget and a Biscuit. Not the best song in the world, but silly. And it's definitely a strange meal, but nothing wrong with it. I mean, chicken nuggets inside of a biscuit. You dip it in mashed potatoes and barbecue sauce. It's quite a meal. Very carb forward. But if you play your cards right, you can split the meal up in a way that you are not eating just carbs. You could have like a biscuit and a couple nuggets, or some mashed potatoes and a couple nuggets and a vegetable. But the kids really enjoy all the things together, and they certainly can handle all the nutrients and carb dense things in it. And making the biscuits homemade is much better than buying them at the store, especially in the way that I make a huge batch and we have breakfast, dinner, and then of course in this case we had the setting up of the meal as our day after dinner with some friends. We made it so that the biscuits were peanut butter and jelly on them, and most people ate that. They didn't really touch the nuggets or the mashed potatoes, but they really enjoyed having the biscuits with the peanut butter and jelly, almost like a sandwich, and that was fine. That was their meal, especially some of the picky eaters who I don't care to sometimes eat vegetables. Most of the time we do have our vegetable on the plate and I say, oh, you have to try it. So today, this day, we ate all the things together. Everything was fine. Then tomorrow, the day after this day, we the kids just had peanut butter and jelly biscuits as their meal, and they didn't really touch the nuggets or mashed potatoes. So I'm cutting up the butter the way my grandma Exford taught me, and even with the really handy dandy dough cutter, the butter was too frozen, I think. So I ended up using my hands in the end, as you will see. But the dough cutter really works up your muscles there, and it can do a great job. I've seen people shred the butter into their mix. I just have not gotten to that level, especially with the frozen butter. It doesn't work really well for me. So I have to, I guess, get a little more versed on how you would use frozen butter. So we do end up using the sour cream, and we add some water to that because the sour cream is very thick and you need some liquid for sure. So I whisk it together and everything, and that makes that work out. And it's, again, this a tasty biscuit, not as delicious as my first batch. I think what really changed the batter was just the way I was not mixing into a crumb as much. And I didn't end up adding the sour cream and the butter almost at the same time. Definitely too quickly, not reaching that crumb texture with the butter in it like you usually should. So basically, I hope to teach you to just not be too nervous about changing up your recipe or changing the way that a recipe is and rewriting it, as depending on what you have in your home or what you need to change it to, depending on different dietary allergies and things like that. The sour cream did not change the recipe. I know for a fact it's the way I did not crumb the butter. But I mixed up some water in there, and it definitely helped it and made it a better dough. So I've been pondering what kind of audience I have and who's really watching the videos here. There are lots of ideas on what sort of person would watch my video. I would say that everyone who watches it has some interest in cooking, and hopefully most people who watch it have a family that I can help by helping you with recommendations or different ways of doing things. And of course, perhaps just some time to relax and watch some videos for a little while. I personally do enjoy these videos for inspiration and ideas. Everyone cooks well if you only give it a little bit of effort and start to follow what the recipe says. And you can also learn a lot from YouTube and different videos and different online websites, different websites. And it's important that we make cooking at home priority and find at least some way to do some things, so we can help our family and save money. So just like anyone who cooks, I also enjoy cleanliness. And when I begin to mix the dough, I decide, do I want to get my hands dirty? It takes a little while, but we do eventually get our hands into it. And then we have a helper come along, which I greatly appreciate, as always, learning and teaching with my little helpers. And this is my second youngest helping me here. And I'm just so happy. And it's just so cute to see her little hands work. And she just loves helping, and that's such a blessing. So we finish off the biscuits. Of course, the main thing she's learning now is don't twist the biscuit cutter, as that sometimes tends to stop the biscuits from rising. It seems like since the beginning of the year, we've been making a ton more biscuits, which I love because biscuits are so tasty. I find that each batch makes a pretty thin biscuit, so I made 3 batches this day just to kind of test it out. And we went through the biscuits really quickly. It only took us a few days. We also made them the first day with just nuggets, mashed potatoes, and biscuits, as per the usual fun meal that we make. We don't make this meal often, but when we do it in this way because of the song again. And then we also had some biscuits the next day with peanut butter and jelly with our friends, and the leftover nuggets and mashed potatoes. So everything was eaten, and that made me happy. Nothing went to waste. And we did make about, I'd say almost 3 dozen biscuits. And again, they just aren't very thick. So I highly recommend, if you want a thicker biscuit, or if you want more biscuits to make more than just a batch, there's quite a few recipes out there for biscuits. The biscuit recipe we use is about 2 cups of flour. So this day, again, we did a triple batch. Very tasty. Again, the sour cream didn't really mess with them or anything, but as you'll see at the end of the video, we have quite a few biscuits with peanut butter and jelly on them, and that just something about it. They went so fast, and the kids were all hungry at the end of the day. We had a long day of hard work and fun times, so just having this all made and easy, just throwing some peanut butter and jelly on and heating up the mashed potato and chicken nuggets made everything a lot easier and helped us to get to our activities quicker as well. And it's fun to think about all the instruction I've had from my grandparents and my grandparents, and how I'm spreading that and helping my daughter, just kind of making sure we're not over kneading the dough. So we have to get the tightest circles and the closest circles and make sure that we're maneuvering the biscuit cutter so that we can use as much dough as possible this go around. And she was really doing well by the end of this third go. She was a pro. So it was just exciting to see her grow through that and all the things we do in my home. I really just love seeing my children grow and how they just enjoy the time that they spend with me. And I just love the time with them. So we peeled the potatoes, as I haven't really gotten anyone interested in smashed potatoes. And the baked potato situation does work well, but we mashed them today again because it was our special nugget and a biscuit day. So we had the red potatoes left over. I bought 2 big bags at the market, and this was the last of 2 big bags that we bought. And we went through them in about a month, 2 bags. I'd say they were 10-pound bags, so about 20 pounds of potatoes in a month. It's a lot, but there's a lot of people that we feed and lots of friends come, so it ends up working out. So those were the potatoes boiled, being mashed eventually into this delicious meal. This was the second day that we had it. I didn't get a video of the first day, but thanks for watching and have a blessed day until tomorrow.